Hello everyone, welcome back to another Create video. The first video I made on the Create Enchantment Industry, we kind of went over the basics of the Create Enchantment Industry, how to use most of the machines, what their purpose are, stuff like that. This video, I'll be showcasing a specific example of how to set up such a system for the Create Enchantment Industry. This system is for the most part, the same system I'm currently using on the Artificer SMP, if any of you have seen that. But keep in mind that in the Create mod, there's not really any one correct solution. There are multiple ways to do it, and this is just the way I've chosen to do it. First up is mob spawners. Now, I have 4 mob spawners here, so that way all 4 can be activating simultaneously. Now, it's really rare to find mob spawners this close together, so what you can do is, using the Create mod, you can actually move the mob spawners using a cart assembler. Once you have your 4 mob spawners close together, you can just do some classic Minecraft architecture to drop the mobs about 23 blocks to get them at half a heart. And then we have the drop area. The first modification from vanilla Minecraft is the use of a deployer. So what this deployer does is, if we get a rent, we can right-click on the hand and change it to a fist. This puts it into attack mode. And then whenever we give it some rotational energy, it will start punching things. Now, since we have the Create Enchantment Industry, we will automatically get something called experience nuggets. And we can just use chutes or hoppers or something to output. So we put it down here onto a belt where we get these nuggets of experience. So what we can do is we can have those funnel into a disenchanter. Now, if you remember from the introduction video to the Create Enchantment Industry, this kind of drains experience from things, and it also converts nuggets of experience to liquid XP. We then do some plumbing and pipe it into a larger storage tank, and then we can start using the XP for things. The first thing we can do is just output the XP. If you pipe liquid experience to just the end of a pipeline, in normal Create, liquids will create a source block at the end of the pipe, but experience will just start flowing out of the pipe. And you can collect it as experience orbs. This is extremely useful for anvils and enchantment tables and stuff like that, which we're going to quickly hop over here for. In the setup, we have a few vanilla Minecraft things: the grindstone, the enchantment table, the anvil. We also have this. This device is called the printer. With this setup here, we could take a book. We can take a book to the enchantment table and enchant it. So we got projectile projection 1. We got projectile protection 1. Now there's a number of things we can do with this book. We could either take it directly over to a blaze to enchant, which we'll get to in a moment, or we can disenchant it using the grindstone. Or we can use the printer. Now, if you look here, this is projectile protection 1. If we want a higher level, we can right-click this onto the printer. In survival mode, this will get rid of the one in your inventory. As you can see, it is in the printer now. And if we put a book on the belt, it will copy the enchanted contents of that book into the book below. And if we right-click this, we now have 2 projectile protection books, which we can combine together at an anvil to get projectile protection 2. Now you can repeat this process until you have the maximum level enchants of every enchantment you need. It's also a good idea to keep a storage, almost like a library, of all of the enchantments you want for the next part. Now that you have your list of enchantments that you want to enchant something with, let's actually enchant an item. So we bring it over here to the blaze burner. Right-clicking the blaze with the enchantment guide will give it a little book and connect it up to pipes. So now we want to supply it with liquid experience. Once we've done so, we can shift right-click to open up the enchantment guide. We don't need to keep breaking the blaze and placing it back down. What we can do is we can take a book and click it into this slot. Now it says it will enchant with power 4. So what we can do now is just right-click the blaze with our item, and it will begin enchanting that item. There we are. Now, this is important for a number of different reasons. The first reason is it didn't actually consume the book. Even in survival mode, you will get the book back. So you can just keep a library of all the enchantments you wish to enchant with. Second, it will not increase an experience to continue to enchant the item. Every enchantment has just a flat experience that the blaze consumes to apply it, no matter how many enchantments are currently on the item. This makes it easier to apply a lot of enchantments to a lot of different things, making it to where you can just hop between your library and your repository of enchantments and a blaze burner to continue to enchant your gear. But let's say that power 4 isn't enough for you. You want to go even further. That's where hyper experience comes in. In the Create Enchantment Industry, if you pipe liquid experience into a basin, throw glow ink sacs and lapis lazuli into the basin, and then mix it using a superheated blaze, you will get liquid experience, or liquid hyper experience. So then you can pump that out and into a blaze burner, once again with an enchantment guide, and it will be hyper experience indication with a blue fire blaze, like if it was superheated. Now if you give it, again, power 4, now keep in mind, this is only power 4, and then we give something for it to enchant, it will enchant it not to power 4, but to power 5, which is one level higher than you can make using an enchanted book. Hyper experience is the only way enchant things above their normal level using the Create Enchantment Industry. This allows you to make some incredibly powerful gear. Do keep in mind, if you think you're clever and try to make a book using hyper experience and put it in a printer, it will still require hyper experience to enchant. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this little setup, not really tour, but setup explanation, very useful. It's one of the ways you can put the enchantment industry to use to mass produce or make incredibly powerful pieces of enchanted gear. Thank you for watching. I hope this was useful, and see you later.